So when it came to choosing a political party, I like to say that I am play that middle round. So I'm 34, so that I feel as though I'm young enough to be able to identify with the younger millennials, but I'm also old enough to have conversations with some more seasoned people. Because I do remember when we didn't have cell phones. Okay, but so with that being said, what attracted me to the party was the influence and as well as the ability to stand with your moral values and ideologies. Now, I say that with the understanding that not in both cases, depending on whichever political party you are part of, I will say there are always people who do not represent the core values of that political party. So taking the person out of it and looking primarily at what this organization or what the Republican Party stands for as it relates to personal responsibility, as it relates to smaller government, which I feel is what impacts my community. A lot of times I get a bad rep for being on the Republican side and being an African American. That is a topic that I am always engaged in. However, I feel as though for me it is my job, it is my purpose in life to make sure that I am representing my community on this side. I think that a lot of the policies that are related to, especially the smaller government, benefits our community in a large way. I believe that no one can govern your community better than those who are living in it and represent it, more so than on a national level. So that is something that definitely drew me to the party, and just the ability to stand for what I was taught and what I was raised in, and as well as the opportunity to be an influencer and a voice for my community.
Got it. Janae, what do you think about the responsibility? I mean, you're a very powerful woman. Right. You have a lot of reach through your sites. What do you think about the responsibility of the press and of the media as it plays into racial divides?
It's a difficult job for sure, and I think it's something that on a daily basis I have to really look at all sides of what's going on. But I kind of wanted to follow up on what Jake was saying about social media, because we have a president who tweets all the time, and he tweets non-factual things, and I think it becomes really important to look at these tweets and contest the facts and say this isn't the truth. There's a lot of mistruths that are spread through social media. So my job as the media is to correct some of these mistruths and put out what is actually going on. For one thing, I think the other thing that we haven't looked at enough is you talk about the humanity behind the keyboard. If you look at the last election and Facebook and what happened with that, it's not always a human that's behind the keyboard. So that's another reason why social media can be so dangerous. So I think that's really part of my responsibility as well, making sure that people are hearing the whole story, people are getting the truth, and that we have different types of media that we're looking at. We're not all looking just at Fox News. We're not all just looking at CNN. We're looking at international news sources, Al Jazeera, BBC. There's a lot of different places to get our news from, and we definitely look in those places as well. So.
Well, she opened up an interesting part of the conversation, especially as the younger generation, when it comes to everything that comes out in the media. Do you guys feel a responsibility to bridge that gap with racial divide? Anybody can jump in on that.
I mean, I have a unique situation because I'm actually from Iowa. I grew up in Iowa, very white place, very white. It was a very tough place to grow up as a black girl. But as I grew up, I had to learn how to let go of that bitterness, and a lot of that had to do with me thinking about people who I knew who were genuinely good people, where race didn't really play a factor in that. And I also had to think about my responsibility in my experience and how I viewed my experience, and learning to think about what's my role and how could I have reached back to that community as well. So I think that's the place that we all need to be coming from, just kind of meeting each other in the middle. And I think people are very quick to say, oh, white people are responsible for all of our pain and suffering, or the other way around, well, black people do this or black people do that. But I think there is a big opportunity here, especially because of the state of America right now and the way things are. We all have a responsibility to stop just with the stereotypes and stop with the generalities and do more of the one-on-ones and do more of like actually acknowledging when good things are happening and when good people are in the room.
Which segues right into this next portion, because we have some good people in the room. We have some questions from the audience. Where does that begin? Here on the left side? All right. Go ahead, sir. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Chris, and I'm local, live in Atlanta. And I just want to clarify an erroneous statement made by Brittany Packnett. Earlier she said that the NFL is a corporation. The fact is, the NFL is a non-profit, and they give a minuscule amount back to the communities. That's all I have to say.
I'm sorry, if you're going to do the whole, sir? Can you relay that back for us?
But it's a non-profit.
The logic and the reasoning behind what point?
It's a fact. Look it up online. I mean, it's...
I don't particularly think that was part of what she was trying to drive home as a conversation. I think, I think the racial divide, I mean, do you have an opinion on that, or what exact point are you trying to make, sir? I'm sorry.
Well, it just bothers me that most people aren't aware that the NFL is a non-profit entity. It's not a corporation.
I mean, again, it's on paper, it can be viewed as a non-profit corporation, but clearly there are a lot of people that are there for profit and making a lot of money. So yeah, if you look at the sanctioning body, then yes, but there are a lot of team owners that are, very rich off of the profits that come from the same players that feel the press. Yeah. So I think that the point that she was trying to drive home is that, the players feel misrepresented by the hierarchy who are making a lot of money, whether on paper it says nonprofit or profit.
And they give very little back to the communities. That's also a fact.
The sanctioning body or the players?
No, the NFL.
You're saying that the NFL gives... I'm sorry, I could go all day with you. It's okay, sir. We're gonna move on. All right, thank you. All right, next question. Thank you so much, sir.
Hi. So I was wondering, do you believe that posting on social media is a good way of activism, or is it just a way for people to call themselves activists instead of getting into the community and doing so in public?
There we go. All right.
That's a great question. I actually have, and I feel kind of a need to answer that question. On my desk, I have something that my dad gave to me, and it's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, which is, "Well done is better than well said." The number one tenet of the Atlanta Young Republicans is take action. There is no better way to show what you believe in and what is dear to you and what is important to you in society than getting out and taking action.
That's right.
Words mean nothing really to me. People can have lip service and they can say this, that, this, that. At the end of the day, if you really believe something, are you living it? Are you trying to pass legislation that is pursuant to your beliefs? Are you trying to get the people that you believe are going to further your cause? Are you trying to help children and mentor them and get older? All of that actually takes getting out there, trying to make a difference. And I go back to what I said earlier, which is, if you can make your 3 feet better, if every single one of us in this room, and we leave this room with the inspiration of Martin Luther King Jr., and we aim to make our 3 feet better, whether that is being the best employee we can at work, whether that is raising beautiful children, being a great husband, being a great wife, the positive influence and effect that we have on society and generally and collectively will be profound. I will never worry about anyone in this room or anyone on the panel. It's the people that sit at home, that never breach comfort zones, that never try to learn new perspectives. Those are the people that are dangerous to society.
That's right.
It is our job to get out there and help make them a part of our 3 feet, because if we do that, we'll make profound difference. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Can I actually add something to that and draw on your earlier question? The other problem with sort of what you're talking about, simply posting online, that we learned, and I ran an independent candidacy for Congress, and so I sadly was not good with social media. We hired somebody, but one of the first things I told her was, find out how to do the algorithm for clicks for both Republicans and Democrats so we can see both voices. And very quickly, we learned that those who were posting a lot online were posting it basically to a set group of people to be able to hear back positive reinforcement on what their views were. And so not only were a lot of these people not getting out in the community and not helping, not taking an active role, not meeting others around them, but they were also posting stuff just to feel better about themselves and their view, and almost double down in these ideas, some which were right and some which were scary.
That's actually pretty profound, you're right. All of my posts are to make me feel better about myself. Last question.
Awesome, awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany. I'm from Ohio.
What's up, Tiffany from Ohio?
How you doing, Senator? So Dr. King says that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And so as millennials and folks who are new to social media, it's new for all of us, do you end with Dr. Bernice King saying that our Father was a solutionist? Do you all believe that social media can be a catalyst for actual positive transformative change? Or is it simply a place for banter and drama and mess? Do you project the future of social media actually working in our good and in our favor?
You want to moderate the next panel?
Hey, hit me up, hit me up.
That is a fantastic question, well delivered. What do you guys think?
So I absolutely think that social media can be a platform for change. I think that it can be a opportunity, or it can create opportunities for you to create communities, virtual communities with people that are not necessarily in your city or directly connected to you, where you can build and organize and even help strategize. I think that it's, as far as the future of social media, I think it depends on the future of us and how we evolve in general. Because I remember when, I had a high school club account or college club account, and then it went into Facebook and all of that. So, and as we evolved, social media evolved. So I think what we need to do is kind of going back to what Jake was saying is being people of action that are doing things outside of the computer, doing things in your community, and then taking that back to the computer and connecting people on a larger scale. There's an organization now, or a group that is on Facebook that I really like, and that group has created a lot of discussion around really hard topics, and and I think that it was actually beneficial, and then they turned the group into a summit, which went from being just now a Facebook group to an actual summit that took place last year for the first time, and people were able to travel from all over in order to talk about various topics, and we had another panel and things of that nature. So I definitely think that it can be a platform for positive change if we utilize it correctly.
And it has been. I mean, if you think about the way that social media was used in Ferguson around organizing, in Baltimore as well, and especially if you think about in Egypt and the Middle East, a lot of those uprisings were organized through social media. So it definitely can be a powerful tool for good and for organizing.
Thank you very much. Before I let you go, if you guys could give everyone your MySpace pages to... That was a joke. Thank you guys for all our panelists. Give it up for them one time.